Bonjour, étudiante français. This video will be for you to review for Quiz 3 because there's a few little tricky things in here that I want to make sure that you understand. And I want you to know that everything on here is taken directly from the quiz. So you can take notes, stop it and take notes on it. On your study guide or just in a notebook so that you can study for your quiz. So we're going to start out with listening comprehension. They're going to do this on the quiz. They're going to read you a passage. Well, you'll have to click on it so the passage is read to you in French. And you will have to answer 3 questions about it. So you'll be able to listen to the passage every time you go to a different question. So in other words, you can have it read to you for question 1, answer it, go to question 2, have it read again so you can look at the question to see what what answer you're going to be looking for. So you won't see the writing for the passage that's being read to you, so that's why you're going to have to listen for it. So look at question 1, and then I will read the passage to you. So it says, Janelle aime lire, mais elle préfère regarder la télévision. So you're going to have to answer whether this is true or false after you listened to the passage. So you're asking, so it's asking you, is this true or false? Janelle likes to read, but she prefers to watch television. So listen to the passage and see, is it true or false? Bonjour, je m'appelle Janelle, j'aime lire. En fait, c'est mon passe-temps préféré. En général, je lis 6 heures par semaine. J'aime lire les romans de Hugo et les magazines féminins. So, do you think that statement is true or false? Janelle aime lire, mais elle préfère regarder la télévision. So that's right. It is false because she does like to read, but she says that is her favorite pastime, is to read. She doesn't say anything about télévision. So, go on to number 2 now. Pendant combien d'heures Janelle lit-elle par semaine? And the answers you have to choose from are 7 heures, 5 heures, 4 heures, or 6 heures. So listen for the answer about how many hours does Janelle read each week. Okay, so listen again. Bonjour, je m'appelle Janelle, j'aime lire. En fait, c'est mon passe-temps préféré. En général, je lis 6 heures par semaine. J'aime lire les romans de Hugo et les magazines féminins. So look at question number 2 again and choose your answer. Pendant combien d'heures Janelle lit-elle par semaine? Yep, that's right. You found it. She reads 6 hours each week, so the answer would be 6 heures. All right, one more time. And question 3, qu'est-ce que Lucie aime lire? So it is asking you, what does Lucie, well, it should be Janelle. Anyway, qu'est-ce que Janelle aime lire? So listen for what she likes to read. One more time. Bonjour, je m'appelle Janelle, j'aime lire. En fait, c'est mon passe-temps préféré. En général, je lis 6 heures par semaine. J'aime lire les romans de Hugo et les magazines féminins. Okay, so you're going to choose everything that applies here. Does she like to read les poèmes? Did she mention that? Les romans, les magazines, les bandes dessinées, or les journaux? That's right, she likes to read les romans et les magazines. She mentioned both of those. Okay, so that's exactly how you're going to do your first 3 questions on your quiz. And moving on, we are going to have a tiny review of indefinite articles. Indefinite articles are un, une, and des. Un, remember, can mean a or an. Une can mean a or an. Un is used before a masculine noun. Une is used before a feminine noun. Des means some. and it's always used before a plural noun. If you look over at this little chart on the right, it tells you about un, une, or des. In the féminin, if you're saying if it's specific, you say la chaise or l'orange. That's the. You're saying the chair or the orange. In masculine, le chien or l'avion. The dog, the airplane. And pluriel, les filles. You're saying the girls. Okay? So that is definite articles. Now here we've been talking about indefinite articles. A, an, or some. And this is general. We're not saying the girls. We're saying some girls, des filles. We're saying une chaise, a chair. Could be anyone. Une orange, an orange. Un chien, a dog. Not a specific dog, just in general. And un avion, a plane. Okay? So remember that indefinite articles must agree with the noun in gender and number. So un for masculine nouns, une for feminine nouns, des for pluriel, no matter if they are masculine or feminine. You must know if the noun is masculine or feminine. So that means you need to take a look at your vocabulary from the unit and know if it is masculine or feminine. Okay, so here are some words that you are going to need to know for this quiz. Is un journal quotidien, a daily newspaper? Can you tell if this is masculine, feminine, or plural? Yes, you can tell by un, that is masculin. Un abonnement, or excuse me, un abonnement. Pronounce that incorrectly. A subscription, and you can tell that un abonnement is masculin. And un mensuel, a monthly, like if you had un mensuel, it would be like a monthly subscription. Okay, so un also you can tell is masculine. So I'm just showing you those because these words will definitely be on the quiz. So here's how you know if they are masculine or feminine. All these ones you can tell are masculine. To make them plural, if you needed to make them plural, you would just use des before it and put the S on the end. So we will go on to, these are going to be vrai ou fausse questions on your test. True or false. These statements will be there and you'll have to choose true or false. Les Aventures de Tintin is a bande dessinée. Remember, a bande dessinée is a comic, cartoon comic. Like in a comic book, here is a picture of the front of a book, of a comic book or graphic novel of Les Aventures de Tintin. Okay, so Les Aventures de Tintin is a bande dessinée that is only popular in France and Belgium and has not been translated into numerous languages. Is that true or false? Yep, it's false. It's popular in quite a lot of countries and it has been translated into many languages. So fausse on that one. Next one, La Gazette was a French newspaper that was founded in the 1700s. Is that true or false? So La Gazette was a French newspaper, but it was not founded in the 1700s. It was founded in the early 1600s, believe it or not. So that is also fausse, false. And readership of daily newspapers has declined in France over the past few years. What do you think about that? Yes, that is true, just like it has in the United States, because a lot of people are getting their news online. Okay, moving along. This is something you're going to have to know. Journaux nationaux en France. These are national newspapers en France. Le Monde is one national newspaper, and Le Figaro is another national newspaper. Just like national newspapers are newspapers that are read all over the country. Just like, say, USA Today is here. It's read all over the country. So in other words, they don't just have articles having to do with one state or one region. Like the Idaho Statesman, that would be a state or regional newspaper because it's not widely read across the country. While it does have some nationwide articles or news pieces, it is still considered a regional newspaper because it's not general to the whole country. It's more specific to Idaho in general. So, journaux nationaux en France are Le Monde et Le Figaro. National newspapers. And let's go on to les autres journaux. Okay, other newspapers. Ouest France. Ouest France is translated to West France. This is one of the most widely read regional newspapers in France. Okay, just like I just told you, the Idaho Statesman is a regional newspaper. West France is a regional newspaper, and it is one of the most widely read. This is on here because this is something you will need to know on your quiz. So if you can make your screen full screen right now, you can kind of look for some words that you know in the on this newspaper. You know, dimanche means Sunday. If you can read the date here, you know how to read the date. I think it says 29 juillet, but I'm not sure because it's too tiny for me. But if you can make this full screen, stop the video and look for some interesting things that you might be able to read on your own. Here's the color jaune. You know that jaune means yellow. Anyway, just a little something interesting. So let's go on to indirect objects and pronouns. Remember that an indirect object receives the action of the verb indirectly. Here's an example. Élise écrit une carte à Jean-Claude pour son 15e anniversaire. Elise writes a card to Jean-Claude for his 15th birthday. So who or what is the indirect object here? You know the object is Elise because she is writing. But who is the indirect object? That is Jean-Claude because he is receiving the action. He is getting the card for his birthday. Okay, so we're going to go on to indirect pronouns on the next slide, but this little caterpillar shows you where the indirect pronouns go in French. So you see his face is the verb. So these are all indirect pronouns, so they go where? They go before the verb. Me, tu, nous, vous, le, la, les, lui, leur, on, y. Those are all indirect pronouns. They all go before the verb. So now we're going to review about more about indirect pronouns. So, some questions that you are going to have things similar to on your quiz. Lisez la question. Read the question. Puis choisissez le bon pronom complément d'objet indirect pour compléter la réponse. So you're going to read the question, then choose the best indirect object pronoun to complete this answer here. Aimée téléphone-t-elle à ses grands-parents? Is Amy calling her grandparents? It says, oui, elle blank téléphone. So who is the, think about who is the indirect object. Who's the receiver of the action here? Amy is doing the action, but who is receiving the action? Ses grands-parents. So you can't put ses grands-parents in there. You have to put a pronoun. So ses grands-parents are, it's going to be them. So leur. Oui, elle, leur téléphone. Remember, leur is L-E-U-R. So that would be the answer for that one. Next, we have lisez la question. Ensuite, choisissez la réponse négative. Faites attention au complément d'objet indirect et au placement de ne pas. So read the question, then choose the negative response. Pay attention to the indirect object pronoun and the placement of the ne and pas. So here's the question. Hugo dit-il la vérité à ses parents? Did Hugo tell his parents the truth? So we want to say no, he did not tell them the truth. So which is the correct way to say no, he did not tell them the truth? Is it non, il ne lui dit pas la vérité? Okay, remember that your indirect object pronoun is going to go before the verb and your ne and pas is going to go around everything. So is it going to be il ne leur pas dit la vérité? No, il ne lui pas dit la vérité, or no, il ne leur pas dit la vérité. Okay, remember ses parents is plural. So you're going to use leur, so that eliminates this one and this one. And remember the ne and pas is going to go around the whole verb and the indirect object pronoun. So here ne is before leur and dit, and pas is after. So it's going to be no, il ne leur dit pas la vérité. So you will have to do one just like that on your quiz. So let's go on to the last slide. It says, des questions. J'ai une question à vous poser. I have a question for you. So if you have any questions, always contact me. My phone numbers are right there. And if you are watching the recording, you must call me to get credit. All you have to do is call and we'll talk about what you saw in this PowerPoint and to see if you have any questions for the quiz. Okay, good luck and au revoir.